Alright, hey, it's 737 Cowboy back with a couple new videos, and I wanted to start with one today that's actually one of my favorite techniques and tricks, and is especially useful in SimWorld here because I've got my Toby 5 head tracker on, and sometimes you've probably noticed, like judging base to final, if you're doing just a pure visual approach, that can be a little bit tricky. And this technique, it works in any airplane. It doesn't matter if it's a Cessna 150 or a 737 or a 747. The trick is very simple. Once we have our runway center line extended, and what I did here, I just went ZooLab, we'll do it again, ZooLab, approach course 314, we'll make it big and hit execute. And you'll notice I get a quotient right here on the aircraft position symbol. It says right now I'm 2.8 miles from the runway center line. The trick is simply this, ground speed minus 60. So let's suppose I was using 200 knots. If I took away 60, that would make 140, and we've made that into nautical miles. We could say 1.4 nautical miles is where I would want to start a turn on a 30-degree turn radius. So this just helps us judge the turn, okay? And yes, you can use LNAV to do this for you. Right now I could technically just hit LNAV. The airplane will totally figure it out, but that's not always appropriate. And another nuance of that is you have to be less than 90 degrees for the FMC to accept it. So sometimes if you're not tracking 90 degrees or less, it'll give you a message back saying unable to intercept, and at that point you really don't have time to be messing around with the box. You need to have your head out the window. So pretty useful trick. Today I will point out the wind is pretty stiff. It's coming out of the north at almost 30 knots, pretty much right across the runway center line. So again, this is all ground speed dependent. It does not matter where the wind's coming from. We simply minus 60 knots, make that a nautical mile value, and that's about where we should turn. By the way, do make sure that we have 30 degrees selected up here at the heading select up here on the MCP. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm in FSI panel right now. I'm going to release our aircraft. We get a ground speed value of 190. Okay, so minus 60. That would be 130 or 1.3 nautical miles is where I want to start my turn. Pretty simple. Runway's out there somewhere. Alright, so just I'll zoom in so you can see good here. We're at 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, 1.3. Alright, let's turn inbound. Runway course is 314. We'll just see how well the plane does. And if you see the noodle here, it's pretty much settling out right on that localizer. Pretty slick. Alright, localizer's active. I'm going to hit approach mode. And from here, the airplane can kind of figure it out. Alright. So if I was hand flying that, you can go ahead and click off right now. If I was hand flying that, I could just continue the turn here nice and smooth onto the center line, and you can see the runway. There's 3-1 right out there at JFK. And what appears to be a little bit of an Arctic tundra. It looks like they've had some winter weather lately. And I was going to end this video now, but you know what? We're having so much fun. Let's go ahead and fly the entire approach. I'm going to arm my speed brakes. Just waiting on the glide path to come alive here. Looks like about another mile that we should have that alive here coming up on ZooLab. I'll put the HUD down too. Alright, so 2,000 feet AGL is typically where I lower the landing gear. We're coming up on that point right now. You can see here we're just below the glide slope. There's glide slope capture. Okay, we'll go ahead and set our missed approach altitude. 3,000 feet, I believe that is. We'll go landing gear down. Flaps 15. And we're looking for a target of 158. A little bit high, correct. Couple neat things about the HUD. Right now we're in primary mode. You don't need to set anything in the menu, if you go into the menu portion of the FMC, you can set the various modes of the HUD. As long as you're in VMC, IMC, or primary, it's all based on the radio altimeter, and you do not need to make any inputs whatsoever for it to be useful during the landing. The A3 mode is entirely different. The reason I'm saying all this, in a moment I'm going to show you kind of my technique for the HUD and how I use it to make a nice landing, okay? Alright, so we're coming up on 1,000 feet. I put in landing flaps, landing checklist, speed brake arm, green light, landing gear down 3 green, flaps 30, green light. 1,000 feet, we're stable, airspeed's 158, seat rate 700. Alright, now these HUDs don't cage like military aircraft, so if you're in a big crosswind like we are today, you're going to notice that we're very much not aligned here. The HUD's kind of off to the side. So that can be something to get used to. But my technique that we're going to see in a moment, when you get into the flare, you want to focus on the big circle. Alright, if I was to put it into VMC mode, that's all you would see right now is the big circle. Alright, that's the flight path vector. And the trick is to put it just underneath the horizon when you begin your flare. Don't put it level with the horizon, just underneath the horizon. That will routinely result in a very nice landing. Okay, but again, if we make it level with the horizon, it's going to float. We don't want to do that, okay? Alright, so just managing the energy here. Big wind, getting some big gusts. Try to just fight the average.
100.
Okay.
50. 30.
Yeah, I'm going to put the
20,
big circle just under the
10.
end of the runway. Holding it right where it is. There we go. Alright, put some aileron into that wind. Make sure you use left rudder to get nice and straight. And here we are at JFK, right down the center line. Alright everyone, I hope you got something out of that. Happy flying.